Right now, somewhere in the world, a toddler reaches for a crayon in a wall. Within seconds, that crayon hits the wall, and a line appears where nothing existed before. No one ever taught this child to do this. No one demonstrated or explained it. And yet this exact scene plays out in homes across every country and every culture. The startled parent, the wall covered in scribbles, the whole moment is almost completely universal. So why does this happen? Why does almost every small child do this exact thing? Most adults assume drawing is something children simply learn, something taught and copied from grown-ups. But the truth is stranger than that, and far older than crayons, paper, or walls. This episode is about the instinct that makes toddlers grab anything nearby and mark it. Before going back in time, let us look very closely at how a toddler scribbles. They are not trying to draw a real picture yet. That comes much later on. They are moving their whole arm, swinging from the shoulder, barely watching where marks land. It feels almost like exercise, like the body simply discovering what it can do here. Press this stick against that surface, and something changes. A new mark appears almost instantly. That discovery, cause and effect, is one of the most powerful moments in early development. And here is the part that should surprise you. This stage is the same everywhere. Researchers who study early childhood drawings have found the same shapes appearing across cultures everywhere. Circles, lines, dots, and spirals. This same small handful of marks made by toddlers everywhere. Children in completely different countries, raised in completely different ways, produce nearly identical first marks. No copying, no shared books, no shared culture, just small hands doing the same thing. That alone should make you pause, because it suggests something far deeper than simple imitation. Now let us go back, far back, long before crayons, paper, or walls even existed. Picture deep caves, far underground, thousands of years before anyone ever wrote a single word. Archaeologists have found something quite remarkable on the rock walls of these very ancient caves. Alongside paintings of mammoths and horses, there are other marks, smaller, simpler, and far stranger. Lines dragged through soft clay by small fingers, belonging to children as young as 2. In one famous cave in southern France, researchers measured these ancient marks very carefully indeed. By comparing finger width and spacing very carefully, researchers estimated the age of each maker. Some of these marks were made by children between 2 and 5 years of age. And here is the detail that should give you chills. Some marks sit high overhead. Too high for a small child to reach alone, completely out of their own reach. Which means an adult lifted that child up, simply so they could make their mark. Think about that for a moment. In a dark cave, deep underground, by torchlight, alone. An adult held up a toddler so that toddler could drag fingers across cold stone. This was not an accident. This took real effort, and it clearly mattered to someone. Now jump forward, past caves, past clay, into a world of toddlers scribbling on walls. That toddler swinging a crayon does the exact same motion as that ancient child did. Same age, same impulse, same whole arm movement, just a different surface, thousands of years apart. The wall is new, the crayon is new, but the urge underneath remains ancient, unchanged. So what is actually happening inside a toddler the moment they pick up that crayon? Scientists who study early childhood development describe this stage as deeply tied to motor growth. A toddler is learning to control their arms, hands, and fingers in entirely new ways. Every scribble is practice, slowly wiring connections between intention, movement, and what the eyes see. This is not nonsense. It is some of the most important wiring inside the brain. And researchers have noticed something else entirely, something that connects directly back to language itself. The same brain systems used in early scribbling are linked to those used in speech. Long before a child ever speaks their first real word, their hands already practice communication. A line on a wall is, in a strange way, an early form of speech. Not words yet, but intention, made visible, made permanent, and made real on a surface. This is why scribbling tends to appear around the same time a child first speaks. The hands and the mouth run very similar programs, both reaching for expression at once. Now think about why a wall specifically draws this behavior out of nearly every toddler. A wall is large, flat, smooth, and endlessly available, unlike one small sheet of paper. For a toddler swinging their whole arm, a wall offers something paper simply cannot: space. Unlimited space, exactly what a developing young body wants to explore and try to fill. The wall is not chosen out of mischief, it is chosen simply because it fits. This is the same reason ancient children chose cave walls over small stones or bark. Big surfaces invite big movements, and big movements are exactly what young bodies crave most. Now here is where this gets even more interesting, and just a little bit deeper. Across very different cultures, researchers found that toddlers tend to draw the same basic shapes: circles, suns, radiating lines from a center point, shapes that appear again and again worldwide. A child in one country, who never saw another child's drawing, makes nearly identical marks. This pattern shows up so consistently that many researchers consider it nearly fully universal already. Not learned from television, not from books, and not from any one single culture alone. It is almost as if certain shapes are simply easier for young hands to make. The circle, in particular, shows up again and again, across cultures, centuries, and entire continents. Some researchers believe this connects to how the human eye and hand naturally move together. A circular motion is simply one of the easiest motions for an arm to repeat. Before a toddler ever draws a face, a house, or a person, circles come first. And once that circle exists, something remarkable happens. The child starts giving it real meaning. A scribble becomes a son, a face, a parent, then a dog, almost overnight, instantly. This is the moment marks stop being just movement and start becoming actual real symbols. A symbol is something that stands in for something else, the foundation of all language. Drawing, in this light, is not separate from speech, just an early version of it. The wall scribble and the first spoken word are branches of one very same tree. Now bring this back to the scene we started with, the toddler and the wall. That child is not destroying anything at all, not in their own mind, not slightly. They are doing something their entire body and brain are wired to do, right now. Practicing movement, practicing cause and effect, practicing the very first steps toward symbols, toward language. The same impulse that, thousands of years ago, sent a small hand across stone overhead. The same impulse that made an adult lift that small child up, simply to help. And here is the part that connects this directly back to you, the person watching. You did this too, at some point, on some wall, in some home, long ago. Maybe you do not remember it, but somewhere, a faint crayon mark may still exist. Faded, painted over, hidden under a new coat of paint. But once, it existed there. That mark was not random. It was your brain doing exactly what it was meant. Reaching, moving, discovering, beginning the long journey toward language, art, and everything that came next. Next time you see a wall covered in scribbles, look at it a little differently. You are looking at a brain in motion, practicing something ancient, something deeply human still. The same instinct that once reached across a cave ceiling, by torchlight, very long ago. Still alive, still reaching, still making its mark. On walls all over the world today, we will dig up another one very soon, somewhere out there, waiting, just like it.